Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Zoe and I make motherhood and lifestyle videos. In today's video I'm going to be giving you guys an update. Nate is now 18 months old and we've been doing toilet learning since he turned 12 months old. Prior to that we were doing elimination communication. I will link the videos below. When he was 6 months old I did his first video on elimination communication, and then when he was 12 months old I did an update on that. So when he turned 12 months old, we decided to ditch the nappies just during the day at home to begin with. So we went out and we bought a ton of undies and some more just extra pants, just, you know, for those accidents. And we also decided to start to get him using the toilet alongside the potty. So we went and got like a toilet insert so that he could use the big adult toilet as well. So just a few little things that we were doing a bit differently. But of course at 12 months, because we had been doing elimination communication, he was very familiar with using the potty and, you know, the feeling that he has when he needs to go. And he was already pretty much poo trained. Every poo that he had, he would go in the potty, apart from times that he was sick or going through, you know, a weird regression. But pretty much I would say at least 95% of his bowel movements were in the potty, which is great. We were really just working on his wheeze. He, well, at that age, I believe their bladder is still really tiny and their brain hasn't developed enough to understand bladder control. So a lot of the time they just go and they don't even realize that they're going. So we just wanted to work on that and help him to know when he, you know, has the feeling to go, the urge to go, and help him to understand when he feels wet, which is why we put him in underwear so that he would have, you know, those accidents and feel the wetness. So of course in the beginning there was a lot of accidents. He still continued to do his normal bowel movements in the potty or the toilet. And he actually really liked using the toilet, I think because he had watched us use the toilet for so long and he just wanted to copy us. So that was great. And yeah, the wheeze were pretty much the thing that we just had to focus on. And at that age they're going so frequently. It could be 20 minutes from the last time he went, it could be 45 minutes, could be an hour, but it is quite frequently. So yeah, the accidents at the beginning definitely are a good thing because you do want them to feel the wetness and you want them to understand that. So the first month or two, there was a lot of accidents. A lot of times he was still using the potty and that was great, but if we had forgotten to remind him to use the potty or the toilet, there could be an accident. And of course at that age, they don't know how to pull their own pants down either, so they still really do rely on you. And they, a lot of the time, you know, are too busy wrapped up in play that they also rely on you to remind them, or even just to pop them on the potty to, you know, encourage them to go. It is really important though in this process in toilet learning, it's a bit different to toilet training. You sort of want to encourage them to go themselves, not forcing them, not punishing them or rewarding them for going or not going, just using a lot of positive language. And if you do want to learn more about toilet learning, you can definitely Google it and have a look. It is a Montessori approach, so if you do follow Montessori parenting methods, toilet learning could be the thing for you. And in the Montessori world, they do recommend starting this whole process between 12 and 18 months because during that age group is when a child is developing the bladder control in their mind, in their brain, and they call it the sensitive period to learning how to use a toilet, learning how to use the potty. So back to our experience and how Nate dealt with using the potty all of a sudden instead of elimination communication. As I said, there were a lot of accidents in the beginning and that's to be expected. So we went through a lot of pairs of undies, but eventually you can see that he started to understand that he needed to use the potty, and we left the potty out for him so he could use it as much as he wanted. And pretty much we did keep an eye on how long it had been, and when it had been a while we would take his pants off for him and we would remind him where the potty is, so that he could come to his own understanding of when he needed to sit on it and use it. We wanted him to understand that he felt like he needed to go. And we actually went across to Bunnings and we bought this really cool family toilet seat, they're called. And I will link the purchase below as well if you want to get one. They're only $35. My husband installed it on our toilet and he said it was really easy to install. We are living in a rental property as well. So it's when we do move out, it'll be really easy to take it straight back off and we can put it on our next toilet in our next home. That made it a lot easier for everyone because we didn't have to be, you know, constantly putting on this extra piece, you know, the insert in the toilet and then also cleaning it. And I could tell it just seemed a lot more comfortable for him. So if you're interested in that, definitely head along to Bunnings to have a look at that seat. But yeah, we pretty much just left that out for him. We put him on the big toilet at times, certain times of the day, like after meal times or when he woke up from night sleep or from his naps. And then the rest of the time during play, we just left the potty out for him so he could go over and use it himself independently. That was working quite well until anytime he got sick. And this was the age as well that we started daycare. And we all know, you know, if you're a parent who has children going to daycare, that your child will get sick a lot in the beginning. The first couple of months, they're just sick all the time. And so he did end up with gastro, and that was not a good day to have him in underwear. I very quickly soon realized to put him in a nappy instead because he just was not controlling that at all. It was just gonna be way too messy. Apart from that, and then, you know, teething and other regressions, I feel like, you know, when a child has a regression for sleep or for eating and mealtime, the same thing goes with potty. You know, they can all of a sudden just regress and not want to use it, but it only lasts a couple of days. You just push through and you continue doing what you're doing, and you don't try not to push anything too much. Just be encouraging and positive, and they will come out of those regressions or potty strikes. And then, you know, once he got over all of that initial sickness from daycare, things got a lot better and a lot easier. Now he's 18 months. So we're 6 months in, and he's now actually at the point that a lot of experts say he would be ready for formal potty training. 18 months is the earliest age that is recommended for actual potty training, because from 18 months old their bladder actually increases and they can hold a lot more, and they have the control to hold it. As I mentioned, their brain will develop and they will have that bladder control. So I've read that they can hold it for up to 2 hours. So we sort of encourage Nate to sit on the potty every hour and a half to 2 hours. We make sure we've taken his pants off for him. He's still trying to learn how to pull his own pants down. Yeah, I don't think he's quite, I believe I read that after 2 they can start to do that, but you can still start to teach them this young. And then we just remind him that it's there, and then every now and again, if he still hasn't gone, we just make sure he knows where it is, that he's not too focused on like playtime, and forgetting, you know, where the potty is and what he's feeling at the time. So it's been really cool to see all that develop, and I can say that he is successfully potty trained at home during the day. So at home during the day, he's pretty much always in undies or pantless because it's a lot easier. And, you know, he does have the occasional accident. He might accidentally do a wee on the floor or in his pants, and that's fine. We don't make a big deal out of it. We just we try to get him involved. So we'll get out a cloth, try to get him to help us clean it, and we'll take him over to his room and try to get him to help us, you know, choose another pair of undies to wear. And then we explain to him, you know, when we need to do a wee, we sit on the potty, and that's where we do it. So that's what we've been doing so far, and around 17 months he actually started to wake up from naps and bedtime sleep, a lot of the time dry, probably 90% of the time dry. It was just out of nowhere. I think it was around the time he was getting that bladder control. So we've just started in, when he has his day nap, to put him in training pants instead of a nappy, because all the time he was waking up and he still had a dry nappy, and I just thought it was such a waste. I just kept throwing out these disposable nappies because he no longer fits the cloth nappies anymore. And so the training pants do work really well. They do hold one wee, so they sort of give you that that bit of peace knowing that you're not going to be constantly changing, wet sheets, unless it's a really, really big wee. So we've just started doing that, and that's working quite well. All the time he does wake up dry. Sometimes it is soaked. Sometimes he ends up wetting the bed a little bit as well, but it's all a process. We are still putting him in disposable nappies overnight. I'm just not ready for that yet, and I don't think he is quite there. But as I said, he is waking up sometimes overnight dry, which is cool. And he'll just, hold it and do everything on the toilet or the potty. And sometimes he does wake up wet. When we go out in public, or we go to someone else's house, we sort of look at the situation and decide whether we want to put him in undies, training pants, or a nappy. I know it's not recommended to use a nappy when you're doing all of this, but some situations, for how young he is, I feel like it is just really helpful to still have some disposable nappies on hand. So when he goes to daycare, they use disposable nappies all day. They do put him on the toilet as well, but he's still in the baby room. So it's not, the potty isn't like a big thing in that room at all. He's the only one using the toilet there. But now he's 18 months, he'll be able to go up into the toddler room, and they have all these little toilets in there, and they encourage the kids to use the toilet all throughout the day, the ones that have started the potty training process. So I'm really excited for him to start doing that, because I know that that'll help. He only goes 2 days a week, but that's still 2 days of him not being in nappies all day. So that'll be great. But when we go out, if we're going somewhere that has good toilets that he can use, like a shopping centre that has, a parent's room with those little toilets, we might just put him in training pants. And I feel like that encourages us to take him more instead of relying on the nappy. But we've been to, carnivals or festivals before where they only have those like porta potties, and they usually have a huge lineup of people. That just is a situation that would cause a lot of stress, trying to, get him to use the toilet instead of going in his nappy. So we just put him straight into disposable nappy for those situations, and that's just worked out well. And then, if we go to someone else's house, we'll usually bring like a potty or a little toilet insert or something, and we'll just keep like a wet bag of undies, and just do what we do at home. But obviously keeping an eye on maybe training pants if we're going to be on someone else's carpet. And that's what we've been doing. So we're a bit more relaxed when we do leave the house, and we do sometimes still rely on the disposable nappies. But when we're at home during the day, we're definitely just using undies all day. The amount of accidents I would say he would have definitely varies. It just depends on what he's going through at the time, what sort of day it is. He could have a really good day and maybe not have any accidents, or maybe just one, but then he could have a day where maybe he's really hydrated because he had some juice or some extra drink. Maybe we did smoothies or something, and then every 20 minutes he's doing a wee. So it varies. So that's what's happened the last 6 months. This is where we're at now. I can definitely say he's successfully potty trained. He enjoys using the potty for every poo pretty much. 1 to 2 poos a day that he probably does, and for majority of the wees that he does throughout the day, with the occasional wet accident. And we're still getting comfortable with putting him in undies or training pants outside the house. And we're starting the whole sleep training process just with naps at the moment, just in training pants, just to protect the sheets a bit, and before we move on to the nighttime training. I'm not sure exactly when we'll do that. I think I'll just sort of see how he's going. I'm really not trying to work on like an age thing. I'm just following his lead and how he's going with the whole process. And yeah, I'm really excited that with daycare, how he's going to be moving up to the next room where they do have those little toilets, and they are going to be encouraging him a lot more. So I think that will really, really help, because I know, he goes to daycare Thursdays and Fridays, so Saturday and pretty much the whole weekend with him, it's sort of getting him to not rely on using a nappy anymore, and getting him to understand that he's now in undies again. So I can imagine that'd be pretty confusing for him going back and forward like that. He'll probably go in nappies initially when he moves to the next room up in daycare, but once he's a bit more comfortable and he's using the toilet more and more, then we'll probably start just putting him in undies or training pants, and just sort of working off of that. We're really trying not to make this process hard or stressful. We're just going by his lead, and it's something that sort of naturally has occurred just because of the elimination communication process that we did when he was an infant, and it's just sort of carried on. But instead of us holding him over a toilet or a potty or whatever, he's using it himself. We're encouraging him to be more independent in that area. So I think the next things that we'll be working on in the next sort of 6 months or so, we'll be teaching him how to pull his own pants on and off. That will be, even just off, that will be so helpful. And just for him, like now that he has that bladder control development in his brain, hopefully he can start to hold it for a bit longer, not going as frequently, and hold it until he can sit on the potty all the time, because we do sign language with him as well. He does this for potty, and so sometimes throughout the day he'll come over to me and go like that, and I'll say, yeah, let's go sit on the potty, come on. And just as I'm about to get him ready, he does a wee. So I can see that he's starting to understand it, but he's definitely not holding it yet. So that'll be, of course, a process. And daycare, of course, will be working on their own thing during the day when he's there. So that will be really cool. And we'll probably just continue putting him in training pants for now for his naps, and hopefully just see how that goes, and see if he continues to wake up dry overnight, until I finally work up the courage to probably do the same thing for nighttime training. I just gotten to a point where I don't like waking up overnight anymore, and I'm able to not really wake up so much overnight. I really don't want to go back to waking up during the night just to take him to the toilet, so that's where I'm at the moment. But we'll get there. Thanks so much for listening to this update. I will probably do another update video when he's 2, just to let you guys know where we're at, how many accidents he's still having, if he's nap trained or nighttime trained yet, what we're doing, if we're still relying on training pants or nappies at all. If you like this video, please make sure you hit subscribe, especially if you want to watch the 2-year update video. You don't want to miss that. And make sure you watch the links below. I will link all the elimination communication videos I did, and the last update video that I did, as well as that Bunnings family toilet seat purchase. Thanks so much for watching, guys.